Good afternoon. This is episode 8 of the Spartan Update podcast. It is November 1st. It is a cold Monday morning, and we are here with Mr. Stefankiewicz, our superintendent.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It is an afternoon already. I'm sorry. Is it good afternoon?
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right. Would you like to start, Callie?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, I thought you said, do you want to start? You can start.
All right. All right. So, I know you love sports. So
I do like.
How do you
sports.
feel about the Eagles winning, 44-6?
Well, the Eagles, yes. I am from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, so I know that pains many people, around these parts. Even though after the Super Bowl, I see far more Eagles jerseys than I used to. But the Eagles stink right now, and the fact that they beat the even more terrible Detroit Lions is not anything to get excited about. But at least it was a game I could semi-enjoy watching yesterday.
Yeah.
So good for the Eagles. But I honestly wish they would lose more to get a better draft pick. So that's what I'm feeling about the Eagles right now.
Fair enough. I'm about at the same spot with the Giants.
How's your fantasy team doing, Aaron?
So poor.
Poorly?
So poor.
Yes.
I'm on track for like 60 points this week. It's so terrible.
Yeah, that's not good.
Scored 200 2 weeks ago.
Are you a sports fan?
My dad is, so I know a little bit about it, but I'm not.
Do you know who the Giants play tonight?
No.
Oh, man.
Do not. But
They play the Kansas City Chiefs tonight.
I only
Patrick
have
Mahomes.
sisters, so we're not
You don't know
family
Patrick
of boys.
Mahomes?
What?
Oh,
You don't know
okay.
Patrick Mahomes?
I know who Patrick Mahomes is.
There you go. You know the Kansas City Chiefs.
So do you like any sports at all? Not just football?
Like watching?
Yeah. Or playing or whatever.
Not really watching other than football. But
Okay.
I play lacrosse and I do swim. So those are the sports.
That's great. Those are sports. So you are very much into sports, right?
Yes.
You play lacrosse and you swim. That's great.
Yeah.
Swim season starting next week, right?
Yeah.
That should be fun.
Yeah, it is fun.
Yeah, swimming is good.
Mm-hmm.
Swimming is very good. Great.
Oh, Grady does swim.
I'm sorry?
Grady does swim.
He does. He does. So hopefully this year we'll be able to come back and watch.
Yeah.
We didn't have a chance to do that last year at all. So, well, toward the end. we
Yeah,
did,
yeah.
But for most of it, trying to watch the Zoom sessions
yeah.
where we're not always. It'd be great when you do it at Neptune. Neptune, it's a very professional. Production over there.
That's what my mom
We
said.
need to get you guys involved to filming our stuff. Even though I do think we'll probably be able to go and watch this year, so it should be good.
Hopefully. Nice.
So the Eagles yesterday were pretty good, but so were the Jets for those New York Jets fans. Pulled off an incredible victory. See what the Giants can do tonight.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I want them to win, but at the same time,
Or the Giants?
yeah.
I get great joy when they lose. I get great joy, but it is what it is. And I was watching. I did watch a little bit of the World Series. I think I'm the one person watching the World Series from this area, being that these two teams
I watched it a little bit.
are not necessarily all that exciting for this part of the country. I like a good baseball game, but so the series goes back to Houston. So we'll see what happens. Atlanta up 3-2, best of 7.
So sad.
Giving you a little background there on where we are with the World Series. So yes. So,
Yeah.
but you know what? We got a lot of great sports here on campus. Our soccer team, right? Our boys
yeah.
soccer team is in States today. They're the number 2 seed, which is great. I think girls soccer plays tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. So that's great. We have one last football. I think girls field hockey is in States. I think playing RFH coming up this week. So that should be exciting. Girls field hockey has done. I guess that's a redundancy to say girls field hockey because it's a female sport. But then again, I guess boys could play, I suppose. Yeah. But our field hockey team has done very well this year. A lot of our teams have done very well. Football's got one last game coming up this Thursday. They have one last game, and even though, and I know we always judge by record, right? And our football team doesn't have the best record this year, but they've played hard. I've been to a lot of games, and they've given maximum effort, so they deserve a lot of credit. And it's not always about what shows up on the final score,
Yeah.
So I applaud Coach Klein and the students, for going out there every week and giving their all. So it's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's not an easy schedule either.
No, they played very
Not
well.
an easy division.
Somebody was telling me that before last week's game, had we maybe won that game, we possibly could have still gotten a playoff spot because of our the difficulty in our schedule, PowerPoints or whatever they call them. So. But either way, it's great for, it's far better than a couple years ago when we weren't able to play any sports and get out there.
Yeah, that was not.
For the spring athletes 2 years ago, not being able to have a season was terrible. And last year we were able to get the seasons in, but with limited spectators, at least in the fall and winter. It got a little better in the spring. But so we're hopeful, that this season for our students it's going to be as close to normal as possible, even though we are sitting here with masks on.
Minus the masks.
We all look forward to the day when that will not be needed.
Can't wait.
Yes.
Cannot wait.
Yeah. Well, I hate to tell you, they wear them in college too,
Yep.
right? This year at least. So we'll see. I'm
right.
sure you've been visiting your colleges and looking at different things, and when you go, you see that a lot of people are in masks. So it is what it is for right now.
Yeah. So, sorry.
Big stretch.
If you had any restaurant or food, like your favorite.
Oh wow. I have a lot of I have a lot of favorite foods. We like the classics, but if I order out, where do we go? Or if we go out, we don't really go out to dinner that much. We order out a lot. Love Greek Spot.
Yeah,
It's a classic, right?
amazing.
I mean, how can you go wrong? I usually
Place is
get the chicken souvlaki platter with the lemon potatoes, extra side of tzatziki sauce, because
it's amazing.
we're not barbarians. You got to have tzatziki sauce. Even though I probably just mispronounced it. That's what I call it,
Tzatziki,
to a true Greek, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. So there's that. Let's see. So what else? I guess I'm giving plugs to places, right? Probably shouldn't do that, but free plugs. There's a Spartan update.
Free plugs.
Yeah, I get I get nothing for this. So I'm just telling you. But hey, it's always good to plug some Ocean Township and nearby places. So what else? Love Eastern Empire.
Oh yeah.
If I'm doing Asian, it's Eastern Empire. It's good stuff. That's not to say that there aren't other great Asian restaurants in town. Always a big, playa.
Yep.
I usually get the tropical acai bowl. I'm a fan of that. Can't beat Serpico's.
Yep.
Good stuff. Of course, Oakhurst Pizza, very, very good stuff. La Tapatía for Mexican, Reina's for Mexican, all good stuff, which is great. And let me think, what else? Oh, there's a great place in Asbury Park. It's called Ida's Gojo. It's a Ethiopian Dominican restaurant. Great food.
Asbury?
It's in Asbury. It's right on Memorial. It's over by the Galley, which is another fun place. It's right in that strip area where the Galley is over there. It's right on the corner. But if you like Ethiopian Dominican food, they have wonderful. Give it a little try.
Yeah, you should try that.
It's very fun. You eat it with your hands. It's a lot of hand eating, which is good.
I don't mind.
No, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. So, yeah, that's That's so when I indulge, when I go out.
I've never been to Pliables. I don't know how.
What?
I've never been.
How have you never been to a
Really?
Pliables?
I don't know.
There's 8 million of them.
I've never had one a shake
Really?
or a Pliable.
What?
I don't know.
I used
Just
to
never-
go when they first came out. It was 2016 or 14.
I don't know how. I just haven't.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
I'm a little worried about you that you say that because you gotta try Pliable.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
try it
the one
eventually.
thing, you could always start slow with a smoothie, right? You can always start with a smoothie. They have good options for smoothies.
way up.
But to me, their tropical acai bowl is nice because you have the tropical. We have the acai base, right? And then it has pineapple, banana, coconut, granola,
Yeah.
I think there's a little honey drizzle on there.
Pineapple. That's my.
Do you like pineapples?
I love pineapple.
I love
Yeah,
pineapples.
pineapple.
Pineapple's
So
great,
It's amazing.
Great, great fruit. See, now with genetic engineering of food,
Yeah.
you have this stuff all year round.
It's
when I was your
incredible.
age, you couldn't get certain fruits
Yeah.
certain times a year. You know what I mean? Now it's just, you get it all the time you want.
It's great.
That's nice.
It's a beautiful thing.
Love pineapple. Love
Yeah.
watermelon.
Watermelon's good. See, watermelon's one of those you can't really always get all year round. I mean, maybe if you
Yeah.
pay enough for it,
Uh-huh.
you can, but that's one that.
Best
Plus,
in
I
the
think
summer.
for people just have a hard time with the idea of eating watermelon in the winter.
It's
You know,
it's a
people
little-
just perceive it as a summer
Summer.
Yeah.
barbecue picnic out on the table, flies flying on it,
Yeah.
kind of fruit, right? And compared to, the winter, people don't just think about eating watermelon in the winter, even
Yeah.
though why not? Silly
It's
not
just-
to, right?
Just weird. It's
Yeah.
like a weird feeling. eating
Yeah, like what do you eat in the
watermelon.
winter? You eat apples, right? Like this
Yeah.
time of year, you eat apples, right? You
Yeah.
know? You don't think about eating watermelon.
No.
Not
But you
November
could.
1st.
We could break the rules.
Yeah.
We could do
you know?
anything.
Yeah. We're wacky like that.
Yep.
What makes you a doctor? Like instead of a Mr. Stefankiewicz.
What makes me a doctor?
Dr. Stefankiewicz? Do you
Well,
have your doctorate?
I
degree?
have a doctorate. That's what does that. So it's lots of school, right? You just keep going, right? You get a bachelor's degree, and then you get a master's degree, and then you do further. And what it actually is, what is the primary piece of a doctorate is a research study that you have to do, and then you write what's called a dissertation. And this is usually about 100 to 150, sometimes more page study where you study something, what I am is a doctor of education. So even though I've kind of been thrust into the role of medical doctor / epidemiologist over the last 2 years, but doctor of education. You do a study typically in the field of education, and you gather data, and then you look at all the other studies that may have been done in that same area, and then you publish your findings as to what you found, and make some conclusions and about what it is you were studying based on the data that you received. So it's coursework along with, like in when you go for a master's degree, it's called a thesis.
Yeah.
And that is more of like a research project with some study, but it's not as it's intense, but it's not as intense as a dissertation. Like I said,
okay.
you can spend years doing a dissertation.
Wow.
But I was very happy and excited to get that a number of years ago. Even though it is what is probably the most strange thing about it is when people start calling you doctor.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you don't necessarily see yourself in that
Doctor.
light, and as people say doctor, and you're like looking around, what? Excuse me, who? Oh, you're talking about me. Got it. It's a great thing to be able to accomplish, and I highly recommend it for both of you in the fields that whatever it is you study moving forward. But it's just always good to seek knowledge and seek other perspectives and learn more about what's going on outside our little sphere. So the more that you can expand yourself, the better it is, and that's a good thing.
That's cool.
How many more years of school is it? Like,
Well, it depends. There was a time when you could count on a doctorate being at probably somewhere. Most schools would give you 7 years to complete it from when you started the coursework. Over the years, more schools have done, I guess, what's like these accelerated programs.
Yeah.
Where it's like a 2 to 3 year thing.
Okay. That's not
I got mine from Kane University, and it was a 3 year, about a 3 year process of coursework. See, because you need the coursework to learn how to. Much of the coursework is learning how to write the dissertation.
Yeah.
They teach you, statistics and qualitative research, quantitative research. Very exciting stuff.
Yeah.
But you need to know how to do it Some people find it exciting. I find it. I do find it interesting, but it's more of a when you're in a program, it's more of a means to an end. Learning is honestly the best when you're not when you're just learning for the sake of learning.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you guys are in school and we tell you the courses you take because you're trying to get your high school diplomas, right? Like that's the courses are the means to the end. Sometimes the courses you take you really like, sometimes the courses you take you don't really like, but you have to take them anyway. Same thing when you're in college. Same thing when you're doing a master's degree. Same thing when you're doing a doctorate. Some of the courses are really great, and others are somewhat torturous. But you do your best, and you realize what's the end game, and the end game is getting that degree, getting that doctorate. But what's great now is. I often think, boy, I'd love to take that course, just to take the course, just because, you're interested in it, just because it's fun, and be able to like I've never taken a philosophy course ever, and I would love to now, because I just think it would be
very interesting,
fun to think about stuff, think about stuff. So, but I think. And look, not everybody needs to get a doctorate. Not everybody, it depends on what you're doing and what your goals are. Many people, do people need to have that to achieve at the highest level? Not necessarily. I think applying yourself and getting involved and being taking advantage of the opportunities that are presented to you is very important as you move forward. As you go into college, as you go into your careers. Because nobody is going to give you anything. I know this probably sounds very cliche, but nobody is going to give you anything nor take care of you for the rest of your lives. Your parents are probably like, go already, you got to go after what you want. You got to go after what you want, and part of that is figuring out, probably the toughest part of that is figuring out what you want. Right?
Did you always want to be a teacher? Or
No, not at all. I mean, that's the one kind of interesting thing. When I went to college, I went for communications. My bachelor's degree is in communications. Temple University, T for Temple U, University. Fight, fight, fight for the cherry and the white. That was the song, by the way. That's their song. Which you are required to do every time you say Temple University.
Oh, I know.
Just as a graduate, that you have to do that. But I'm not going to do it that time because Anyway, So I started out in communications. I had the degree and actually worked in the advertising industry in Philadelphia for radio. I worked in radio stations, television stations, for about 8 years, and I was in the sales side, and it was great for a while. And then it didn't get great. It was very cutthroat. It was it's a very cutthroat industry, which I'm not a very cutthroat kind of person. Contrary to popular belief, sometimes I'm not a very cutthroat person. So then I started looking at education, and and the rest is history, I guess they say. Yeah. And I was a history teacher, so there you go. I guess that works out.
Wow, that's interesting.
Definitely, because I don't know what I want to do exactly, but I definitely want to look into something with like communications. I just don't know
well, it's funny. When I was coming out of high school, I felt the same way. I wasn't sure. I was a musician at the time, right? So of course I was going to be a rock star, right? I know that's hard to kind of even fathom, but that's what I was going to do. And but I knew I was going to go to college. But eventually, I was just going to become a rock and roll star. And but I was not a classically trained musician, right? So I couldn't go and major in music.
Yeah.
Because plus, that wasn't fun music. I was playing rock and roll. I wasn't playing classical. Yeah. And now I have a much greater appreciation for classical music, but at the time, So I didn't want to major in music because I just didn't perceive that, one, I was probably good enough to major in music, and two, I just perceived it wasn't going to be the kind of music that I wanted to play.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like, well, what's in the ballpark, what's kind of that creative thing? And so that took me to communications.
Mm-hmm.
Radio, television, and film was the sort of the concentration. And it was good. I mean, it was fun. The interesting thing for me was I got more on the sales side of things. But, looking back, I think I would have been better off on the creative side of things, more than the sales side of things. Because, I think it just would have been better to be on that side than the sales side. Because it just, I think, fit my personality and my skill set a little bit better, But it's not unusual coming out of college, being a senior and not being sure of what it is that you want to do.
Yeah.
That is not unusual at all. And, there are some people who may know or think they know coming out of high school.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes the people who don't know look at those people and they think they're far behind. They're far behind. Like, oh my God, why don't I know? I think far more people don't know
Yeah.
than they know.
Oh yeah.
Right.
100%.
So I think what's really important when you go to it, if you have an idea, if not, you can go on. You can do an undeclared major. I think for a time, right? And it's great to just kind of dabble and go and
Figure out.
and take a lot of different courses in a lot of different areas to try to see what's exciting to you, and because I mean I know everybody wants to get out of school and make a lot of money, and that sounds exciting, and it is. Let's not be wrong. Making enough money to live is a good thing.
Yes.
Let's not sugarcoat that. That is not a bad thing, but I will tell you, it really is important that you enjoy what you do.
Yeah.
I know that sounds very cliche, and it is, but it's really true, because when you're not enjoying what you do,
way harder.
it's almost like it doesn't really matter how much money you're making,
Yeah.
because it's just not fulfilling, So what's really important is to try to find what makes you happy, and actually, hopefully, what can make other people happy. That what you do not just serves your needs, but serves the needs of other people.
Yeah.
And not all professions do that necessarily, but many do, and I think that's important to try to find, because at the end of the day, you're going to be doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it really helps if you enjoy it. That's why being an educator, I've now, this is my 24th year in education. Wow. And they're not always easy. Not always easy at all. We deal with a lot of, I've been a teacher, I've been a principal, I've been an assistant superintendent, I've been now superintendent for 10 years. And it's tough, I mean, especially these last couple of years, because, you think about you guys as students, how difficult it's been being students through pandemic, So, I spend my waking and sometimes my non-waking hours thinking about you guys and thinking about how to provide the best, situation for you through all of this, and dealing with a lot of outside stuff. So that's why I appreciate this invitation, because coming here and doing something like this with you all is fun. It reminds me why I do what I do.
Yeah.
There's an old adage that if you're having a bad day as a school administrator, just go back to the schools and hang out with the students, because that's why we do it in the first place. And it's very true. I usually pick a preschool or kindergarten class because that's a lot of fun. If you've ever, it's especially fun. It's like being a grandparent. Like, I can walk in, get the kids all riled up, and then leave. And then the teacher's there like, "Thanks for stopping by." I had them all calm, and now they're all riled up. But it just reminds us why we do what we do. And You know, and so that's why you all should make sure you're taking it easy on your teachers.
Yeah.
Right? Because especially as seniors, because I
course.
know how seniors get.
Yeah.
You know, especially in that second semester.
That's going to be rough.
So, you know, you take it easy on your teachers because they're working hard and they care very deeply about trying to prepare you for, you know, the next step and the next level. And, you know, they've all been there, so they know what it takes, right? They know what it takes to have you be successful, so they're trying to help you do that. It's sometimes difficult to see that when you're in it.
Yeah,
But-
sometimes like you look in hindsight and you're like, I hated this teacher. I really didn't like this teacher. But I'm like, she really helped me, or like
Yeah.
she really tried to help me.
Exactly.
It's happened to me a couple times.
Yeah, well,
I
sometimes
will
that
say.
happens with parents too, right? Like,
Yeah.
why are you on my case? Why are you on my case? Why are you on
And
my case?
then-
Well, because
yeah.
we've lived it and
I
we
get it.
know, you know,
Yeah.
and so we try to help. We try to help you not make the mistakes that perhaps we made or have the experiences we had. You know, that's the part of the job of the parent. You know, and so we're all trying to impose this incredible wisdom on all of you, and much of that comes just through experience.
Yeah.
Right. And the hard thing to do is to try to teach someone about experience when they haven't yet experienced it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but hopefully we can prepare you well enough to where when you do experience some things,
You're ready.
that you're in a better place to be able to handle it and deal with it. You know what I mean? So that's really that's what education. That's education, right? You know, the math class you took, or you know, you may or may not ever need, you know, on a daily basis, you know, calculus ever past high school. Maybe you will. So, you know, and the thing is, you never know. I mean, I can't tell you how many times kids say to me, "Oh, I'll never need this again." You have no idea. When I graduated from high school, I never in a million years would have said I was going to become an educator. Never. And it was 10 years, it was 12 years out of high school when I became one. I mean, you have no idea where your path is going to take you. And so you just have to be open to everything that you get, and don't close off to anything, because you know how you feel about something right now could very much change in a year or two. You never know. That's why you try not to burn any bridges. You just try to do your thing, and don't try not to close. You know, you can close over a door, just don't slam it shut all the way. You know.
Keep a very open mind.
Yeah. Well, that's it.
Helps.
You never know. Well, and look, you never know what situations are going to happen. You never know. You never know when your whole, you know, your life can change in a minute. I know that's hard to sometimes fathom, but you know, in a split second, everything can change. And so, you know, it's why it's good to have a strong base. It's good to have a great support system if you can have that. And you know, just every day is just doing the best you can every day. That's really what it comes down to. You know, sometimes we as people, it's easy to do. You get very caught up thinking about far in the future.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing. It's good to plan. It's good to have goals and all that. That's all good stuff. But realizing that, you know, something could change tomorrow, so you have to be able to adjust as you need to.
Yeah. Definitely.
Boy, we got very philosophical. We
Yes,
went from talking about sports and our favorite foods to you know, significant philosophical discussions. So
good,
see how things can change so quickly?
Good segue.
Yes, great segue. Great segue.
All right. You guys good? All right. Yeah. Oh, really?
There you go. See? You see?
Worked out perfect.
You never know what's going to happen.
See you next week.
Yeah.